What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with another Destiny 2 video. Been kind of a busy day, I guess, but here we have the Renegades Content Calendar, so we're going to jump straight into it. This appears to basically be the roadmap that everyone's been talking about since September. So Bungie say, we shared a live stream outlining our plans between Ash and Iron and the launch of Renegades, including plans for upcoming features and a roadmap for what's ahead. Since then, we've implemented many changes based on player feedback from Edge of Fate and leading into Renegades. As we continue to act on feedback though, we're taking additional time to craft our long-term strategy for the future of Destiny before we share a full state of the game and multi-year roadmap next year. In the short term, we want to provide a preview of the changes coming to Destiny 2 with Renegades and update 9501, and that goes live a week after launch, so we're going to see a slew of updates again, and the team has been focused on continuing to make improvements to power and progression, quality of life updates, and the start of a new weekly ritual alongside brand new activities and systems with Renegades. So I guess that's kind of an important setup. Bungie are setting expectations to an extent of what we're really going to get in this content calendar. I guess that's why they haven't really referred to it as a roadmap, but obviously they plan to continue to iterate on Destiny. We do have a calendar here for some of the Renegade stuff, so obviously that's dropping on December 2nd. Most of the stuff here we've kind of already heard about. We do spot things like the vault space increase of plus 300, as well as sorting improvements and things like that. Maybe a few other bits, the return of Vox Obscura and Derealize in there. Otherwise, they kind of break a lot of it down in the text portion of this. So here they talk about reflecting on some learnings from the update with Edge of Fate, and they say we presented a different vision for the future of Destiny 2's core game, one intended to refocus our releases and play a call to action on a familiar but deeper pursuit of power and ascending to higher tiers of gear across a wide range of supporting activities. Very quickly though, the feedback made it clear that this was the wrong path for Destiny, which is a pretty strong statement. Even if our execution had been perfect, we see plainly that it was not. It is clear that grinding power will never be a substitute for earning a trophy, and climbing through throwaway tiers en route to the gear that you want to build around isn't aspirational, and the portal itself surrenders too much of Destiny's feeling of place and exploration. These lessons, and many others besides them, have been taken to heart by our team over the last 3 months, so for now, the focus across the entire team has been in response to player feedback, starting with the fastest changes and working through to more challenging ones. Our focus was on faster, better rewards, more player agency in activity choice, and removing barriers to playing with friends. But again, important kind of recognition there of a lot of the feedback that players have given, fairly direct commentary from Bungie, which is good to see in terms of the future of the game. But moving to Renegades, they highlight that players will be able to reach the power cap directly through Renegades activities if they wish, so that's kind of reducing the reliance on the portal to an extent. Seasonal power and featured gear will carry across season, so all weapons and armor are now featured. Additionally, they're moving the power catch-up from a chest needing manual pickup into organic drop, so if you sign in and play Renegades, you'll basically catapult to 300 power. Otherwise, they're increasing vault capacity and upgrades to ease collection pressure, so vault space is increased by an additional 300, so it's a total of 1,000, and they're working on more. But they also say the vault has been revamped with a filtering system to help find what you're looking for faster. So as we can see right here, quick kind of image of how it will appear in game. And there's tabs for all items, as well as weapons, armor, and then other kind of things, ghost shells and stuff like that. An interesting one for universal ornaments here, they say they're opening up the fashion game, and players may now apply any owned exotic armor ornament of the same class and slot to their exotic armors in PvE activities. They also say armors will continue to show their base aesthetic in PvP to avoid confusion in combat, so I guess that seems fair. Otherwise, pretty interesting quality of life change. They also highlight, of course, we'll get the numerous sandbox buffs to existing exotics and legendary archetypes, so those are the weapon changes they spoke about in the blog earlier in the week. I've got a video breaking those down. Then they'll reintroduce weekly objectives to support weekly rituals, so this is about the Vanguard alerts. They'll bring back some Nightfall vibes, they say. They did break a bit more of it down in the twit, but it's basically going to be a weekly set of rotating activities with additional kind of power increases and featured rewards in them. A bit more like, strikes or something we had in the past. It's kind of an addition to stuff that we have, which is similar in the portal already. As you can see, it sits alongside Conquest, so a little bit different. It's more variety at least. Otherwise, they show off the Vanguard orders screen here. So this is basically replacing things like bounties and some of the challenges in the game with kind of weekly reward tracks. It's really a reimagining of the seasonal hub. And then there is the Arena Ops screen. So this is going to be the 6-player activities that Bungie spoke about adding to the portal. On top of that, there'll be new legendary weapons and armor sets to earn across the portal, alongside new looks to earn in Renegades content. They'll also add multiple themed sets to expand upon the cosmetic chase. But as we can see for Arena Ops, we've got Catch Crash, Astral Alignment, and Nightmare Containment right there. And we can see a new weapon for the season, I'm guessing, featured there, as they'll be updating all of those kind of bits and bobs in the portal. Otherwise, they have upcoming events. So for the next few months, they have a full calendar of weekly events and modifiers to keep gameplay going within Destiny 2. The Dawning will be in December, and they say they're returning to a 3-week duration for the larger seasonal events. So they don't give a specific date, but probably by the second week, or maybe the 3rd in December, that'll kick off. And then we've got Arms Week in January, and the rotation of featured weapons continues with the next Arms Week focused on bows, complete with new limited time weapon mods. So that's January. Then in March, the return of the yearly class competition in Guardian Games. So that'll be interesting. And then there is Call to Arms in the mid-season around April. So the first Call to Arms has just started, but we're already in the midst of planning a mid-season event for the Renegades timeline. Plus, there'll be the return of Iron Banner and Heavy Metal. So obviously, we're going to continue to see Bungie kind of focusing heavily on the events in the live game. You know, I guess there's a lot of scope to continue to improve some of those, but sprinkled throughout the months will be general portal modifiers, Weapon Foundry sponsorships, and things like that, kind of similar to what we've seen in the past. Otherwise, time frames, may be subject to change. So I guess we'll get more specific dates and stuff in the future. Obviously, we need to view this whole section in the context that Bungie have kind of recognized there is a lot more that needs to be done, directly kind of mentioning players not enjoying the portal. The fact that grinding power isn't really a substitute for other endgame qualities that we've had in Destiny. It's nice that they recognize that. I think that's important, but they are basically saying this is going to take more time, and obviously they'll get into the future when we're in the future. But for the moment, we've got Renegades kind of sitting somewhere in hopefully an improved version to some extent of the systems we already have in Edge of Fate. They're kind of recognizing that up front, but they finished by saying, since Destiny launched over 10 years ago, it's always been a living, reactive world, and through our successes and failures, we are grateful for the opportunities to explore different paths, learn from them, and with that clarity, build an inspiring new vision with and for our players. As we work on plans and communications to address feedback, thank you for being on this journey with us as we reshape our strategy for the long-term future of the Destiny franchise. So there we go. That's the roadmap and sort of set of updates for the minute. That's kind of really what I expected we probably would see in the near term over the next few months. It was never realistic that the portal would just go away. Obviously, there's tons of things that Bungie need to improve on. They haven't really got, a new vision for the end game necessarily of Destiny 2. But there's more stuff in Renegades. And like they say, talking about whatever happens multi-year in the future, they still reference that. They're kind of saying they're committed to Destiny, ultimately. For the minute, I didn't really expect a lot more than that, to be honest. So, it's nice to hear that Bungie want to make Destiny as good as possible. It's nice that they recognize a lot of the stuff we've said, but yeah, I'm going to waffle on at this point if I don't just end the video, because I'm very tired. Right, give me your thoughts below, and I'll keep you posted when we hear more. Cheers!